And so in those highest ranked lobbies that I've been playing in, I've been seeing only the STG, which makes sense. But for subs, I've seen people still using the static. I've seen a lot of people going back to the Superi, which is way more competitive than it used to be now because of the static nerf. I've seen the Rival 9. I've seen a lot of strikers, and yeah. We are live, boys and also girls. Welcome.
Way too early. You did it again. Way too early, bud.
Okay.
Seconds too early.
The Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast, episode number 452. My name is Premature Casey, also known as Razinon, apparently. Today I'm joined by, right on time, I guess. He's not. Tanner.
Okay.
And today we have an episode for you, including details on actually a good episode for you today. We have season 5 Reloaded to cover, which we're about to get into, which is not fun and exciting, to be clear. It is disappointing even by mid-season standards, but we'll get into that. And then also we have some details on BO6, which is much more exciting, important, and relevant, including a Warzone leak that I am very anxious to get into. Now, before that, we do have a couple announcements. Stick around to the end to hear all of them, but we got some new patrons. We got a little dono. And remember, follow us on Twitch at the Dropshot Podcast. We will be multi-streaming there 100% starting next week, episode 454. Now, let's get into, firstly, Season 5 Reloaded patch notes. So we got the update. It is now live. They posted the patch notes yesterday.
Yeah.
And, you know, surprising to absolutely no one, it was dog poop. Barely anything changed. Barely anything was added. And the game looks largely the same as it did before. But nonetheless, we will cover everything
New meta.
There is that sorta to cover.
Kidding.
So yeah, well, we'll get into that. Yeah, so starting with Warzone, we're going to mix it up. We'll do multiplayer after Warzone. Wednesday, August 21st. So there were some performance changes, super don't care. Some customization changes, also don't care. Resurgence, we made adjustments to world geometry to slightly improve content streaming. So, okay. And that's it, by the way. That's the Resurgence section, probably. But here we go. There's a new mode called Supreme Resurgence. Supreme is all about skills. No need to worry about building a loadout here. See ya. I have checked out Insta. Sentence 2, I'm done. Basically, I don't know. It's right now it's the only quads playlist, and you can't have a loadout there. So I literally stopped reading when I was reading this on my own time, and I'm once again going to stop reading now.
Yeah, we can skip it.
You can look it up. I'm not going to talk about it, though, and I've got it.
Yeah, Warzone is interesting and unique
that.
because you build your loadout. I don't want to use the ground loot guns. To be fair, they're probably like the actual meta builds, but still, yeah, just let me have my own specific gun.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, see ya on that. Trios is rotation, and then duos is only rebirth. So, and there's no solos for Warzone, so got that. That's Resurgence anyway. For BR, there's solos, trios, and quads on Resurgence. So, general Call of Duty endowment details. Got that. Don't care. And here's a new thing that I actually haven't seen, so this must only apply to Resurgence, but I'm going to read it for you. Personal records, new end of match accolade. Victory just got a whole lot sweeter. Well, I can't get SR for winning on Resurgence still, by the way, so maybe this will help. When you win a match of BR, you'll now earn a special accolade if you surpass your personal kill record. For this accolade only, we're hitting the reset button with Season 5 Reloaded. Everyone starts fresh, but don't worry, your combat records remain untouched, so that's good. We're eager to develop this feature further with your input, so get ready to screenshot and brag about your achievements. So, a couple of things on this. Number one, again, I either this is not in for Resurgence at all, because I've played Resurgence, unfortunately, on every single map since Season 5 Reloaded has come out, and have not seen this. And I would have, because it resets the accolade. So my first game on, even if I got 1 kill, which I've done a couple times, sometimes even more, I would have seen this accolade. So either it's not in yet, or I just have like not stayed at that screen or looked at that screen or something. If it is in and I haven't seen it yet, they need to put it in a better spot or show it to me at a better time or something.
It says it's only in BR. It says when you win a match of Battle Royale, you'll now earn a special accolade if you surpass your personal kill record.
Yeah.
So you have to win and then also get your
Extend.
personal kill record. So.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. It says when you win a match of BR. Yeah. Because I've won Resurgence too, and I still haven't seen it. Why would it only count if you win? That's insane. What if I get 45 kills, which I regularly do, and then get second place? Because I don't care about my PR for kills only if I win. And no one else does either. Like, imagine you solo quad and get the world record with like 71 kills, but you get second place. You don't get an accolade for that?
Metaphor moment right there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's insane.
This is a cool idea, but it's kind of, there's just not enough there yet. Like they said, they're eager to develop this further. Yeah.
Yeah. I would not have noticed this at all, but you're right. It says when you win a match. That's really dumb. I would love to hear the reasoning behind this, but it actually makes it almost pointless. I mean, most of the time you set a BR, you're probably going to win the match anyway, but I mean, you can easily hit your PR getting like second or third. The chat box on your overlay is giga.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I don't know why. I didn't touch any of that, so I don't know why that's moved. I don't even know.
That's odd.
It's not. It's all messed up because this was under the one. I had this one hidden. That's what I'm confused about. Like the one might. I don't know.
It won't matter next week anyway. So yeah, just leave it there. Don't worry about it. Anyway. So yeah, I like the idea though. I don't think it's a very big deal whether we have it or not, but if we're going to have it, do it right, and it's not done right yet. But once it is, that'll be cool.
There are loadouts in Supreme Resurgence, so they say, by the way, but yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just the ground loot guns are better, I guess.
Oh, that could actually be pretty fun then.
I haven't launched the game since it updated, so sorry, I don't know. I don't know anything right now, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to Supreme Resurgence then. I wish I had realized that. Maybe I should have kept reading. Next time I'll do that. I won't. So yeah, Supreme Resurgence, I guess right now is quads only. Basically, the ground loot is only epic or legendary items, and the guns are like custom built and probably like pretty meta setups. And there aren't that many of them either. Horus, STG, Car, Superi, SVA, RPK, TAC 56, Fennec 45, Cronin Squall. Okay, so some competitive guns, some are obviously not. And then non-competitive items have been removed. That's cool. And then I guess you can also buy your loadout. So that actually does sound like a really fun mode. That actually takes it from being like the worst thing to the best thing if you can also buy a loadout anyway.
Yeah.
There's a longer countdown, Resurgence countdown, but actions reduce it by twice as much. So instead of Tanner coming back in 20 seconds after he dies off rip because he's not very good, it would be 40 seconds. But if I open a box and that reduces it by 3 seconds, normally it would reduce it by 6 instead. That's
quick
cool.
Math.
That is more like, that is some quick math. And that's also like, I could see it being more competitive, trying to reward players who are actually doing shit, and like engaging with the game more, maybe more skill, whatever. And then if you win a match, you get a unique spilled beans weapon camo. So that's interesting.
Spill this. Yeah.
So I'm actually pretty mad I didn't notice that, and I will be trying it now. So that's cool. Anyways, so good comms on whoever said that, unless it was Jake.
It was me.
Nicole.
It was me.
It was
I said
Tanner.
it.
Good.
I
Okay, got it. So moving on from that, gameplay, new, all maps and also all modes. Elite contracts are now in. So I remember when we had gotten the roadmap for season 5, this was hinted at it was shown in the roadmap, but they didn't say anything about it in the blog post. So we were like speculating on what this could mean. And I was totally wrong, and Tanner was mostly right. And it's basically just regular old contracts that have like a wreath under them. And then the symbol's also a darker shade of yellow, closer to orange, I guess.
Yeah.
And the rewards for it's the same type of contract, but you don't have as much time to do it. And but if you complete it, you also get Giga rewards and a crate drops. Similar to when you complete a Most Wanted, how a crate drops, the same shit. Except in the crate, you can get a redacted weapon, which is the worst thing, Foresight, Advanced UAV, or Specialist.
That's goated. That's really good.
One of those is guaranteed. Now, these are in Ranked, but in Ranked, the only thing that'll be in that box is a redacted weapon. You can't find any of the other things, which is a good thing, by the way. But they are in Ranked, so you'll still get like more XP, which doesn't matter. You'll get more money, 1,500 more per player, and it will still be more difficult. And there is an elite version of every contract except for the Most Wanted contract, which is weird because it could have been done. Just have it be, instead of you only have 35% less time to complete it, have Most Wanted last 35% longer than normal. I don't know why they didn't do that, but regardless, that's how it works. Cool little system. Not a big deal, though. It doesn't really change the game very much. And it doesn't really even change what contracts I'm grabbing almost ever. At least not in Resurgence. Maybe it would on Big Map, though. Change where I'm going to drop or like what contract I want to do. But even then, I don't think it's, well, you know what? Because of the rewards, it actually probably would change where I land on Big Map.
So so you see these right away, right? So you can land on an elite contract right off the rip.
You know it's elite by the icon, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not like you pick it up and it's like a RNG thing. Like, you know where it is. So in theory, that would also create more hot drops. I haven't played Urzikstan since the update. I played a lot, but it's all been Resurgence. I gained 355 SR yesterday, by the way. Hashtag Crim1, hashtag almost Crim2, hashtag Jake doesn't respect my SR because he was doing work, cringe.
Hashtag on that grind.
Exactly, hashtag time in. So, and we're done.
Yeah, this is cool. I like this.
This is cool, though. Yeah.
W, Raven.
Yeah. Again, I was going to say, this is definitely more impactful on Urzikstan, though, than it is in Rebirth or especially in Ranked, obviously, because of the rewards not being available. But I am curious to play Urzikstan and see what changes with this. Because there are like 2 good rewards and 2 bad ones. So you could get Foresight or Specialist, which would be really good on Urzikstan. Or you could get a redacted weapon, which is the worst case scenario, or an advanced UAV, which is pretty dang good, but I would much rather have Foresight probably, or Specialist.
Specialist is fairly easy to get.
Really, really
good.
I
would say Foresight and advanced UAV would be the 2 I would want the most, because Specialists, they're pretty common. You can kill somebody and grab it. Bunkers have them always, and it's easy to get into a bunker most of the time.
Jake can just call himself the executive producer. I've got it. You know what that means in TV, Jaken? It means the person who funded the show or
movie.
You
can be the executive producer.
That's what executive producer means. So I would love if you were the executive producer. Give us lots of money.
Yeah.
Thanks. And then I'll call you that.
Fund us.
Fund me. So yeah, anyway, that is cool. And then there's another thing now, the Recon Flyover public event. This new public event spawns 2 large waves of advanced UAVs over highly populated areas, revealing anyone in their path.
Shoot.
Players near it are tracked live in the TAC map and mini-map. Players must venture outside of the effect radius in order to stop being tracked. Ghost and counter UAV do not counter the effect of this event, which is pretty crazy. In BR, this can occur during Circle 4, and in Resurgence, this can occur during Circle number 2. So I have played with this event being in the game, and I've like seen this event happen in my games. Yeah, even after reading this, haven't paid much attention, to be fair, but don't really know how it works. And don't care either.
It's an advanced UAV that flies over the map and reveals people for a short period of time in that area.
I've got it. Thanks. I've been playing Rebirth again, so it's like it's way harder to avoid on Rebirth. As you can see from the screenshot, look. Like, what if I'm intense right now? Like, and someone's on control roof, which they are, and someone's on the roof of Big Green, which they also are. What am I supposed to do in that situation?
Move.
I'm
move
not
out of the
gonna
way,
like
man.
get out of its way. I won't be able to.
Why?
And that's like,
just move.
I can't. I'll be being held.
Oh.
Look how big the
Kill
radius
him.
is compared to the map. This is why this is kind of like, it's fine. I don't really care. And if someone's pushing me, they'll also be on it. So that makes it kind of fine. But it's also just kind of like, I don't know, silly. And it's also way more impactful on Rebirth than in Urzikstan. Because again, on Urzikstan, you can easily avoid this radius. Most of the time.
Yeah.
On Rebirth, you rarely can. So it's like, okay. But I'm fine with it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And since it shows everyone, it doesn't like disadvantage you necessarily if you are in a tight spot like I just described hypothetically. Because if they're pushing you from Big Green, first of all, Big Green's in the path, but if it wasn't, if they started pushing you because they see you, well then they would light up for you as well. Because it's instant like an advance and it tracks them and it's not counterable. And then same with control. So that actually makes it kind of cool. And makes things potentially a little bit hotter. But I haven't noticed like it being super, super impactful, at least on Rebirth. So
you're getting like feedback in your mic. I think your air is on or something. It's noticeable when you're talking.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. So anyway, so in BR this can occur in Circle 4. In Resurgence this can occur in Circle 2. So I'm also assuming there are like probably more planes or something that fly over in BR. I don't know. And yes, occupation scans are still a thing, because if this is the same size that it is in BR, then that doesn't really make any sense, because this like would hardly take up any of the map at all. But I don't know how many planes come in Battle Royale.
And yeah, I don't either. To be fair, also, it does say it goes over highly populated areas.
5 planes in BR, 2 sweeps, I think. That's what I'm guessing if I had to guess.
Yeah, same. So if it's actually targeting people on big map, it would still probably be relevant, even though the radius is way smaller relative to the map size. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played Urzikstan.
I almost think it would be more impactful in Urzikstan, to be honest, because in like Rebirth, you know where everybody's at. They're at living quarters, they're at factory, they're on prison. Like it's pretty obvious. So I feel like if anything, if you're in downtown and there's a whole sweep that comes over all of downtown, then you're gonna say, oh, there's a team over here 300 meters away in that building. Let's go fight them. So I think it's really impactful there, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So either way, ultimately, I don't think that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I'd have to play more. Maybe it is.
And it's a public event, so it's not happening every game. So I like both of these ideas. And that's kind of what we were thinking going into Season 5. Elite Contract sounded cool. This sounded cool. So I think both are overall good for the game. Good changes.
They both incentivize more action.
Yeah.
Because the elite contracts are going to be attractive enough to get multiple teams wanting to drop there. So that creates more action. And then also, if you can see where people are because they're on an advanced UAV, that's also going to create more action. You can go chase them. So yeah, I agree. But they're not that big of a deal. They don't make the game that much more novel or fun. So we'll get back to that thesis, which I've stated hundreds of times since we started this podcast, unfortunately. But let's move on. Adjusted is the next header. All Resurgence maps, the scavenger contract now has a 2.5 minute limit to complete instead of a 4 minute limit to complete.
That's good.
That is good because 4 minutes is... Okay, if I can't do the scav on Resurgence in 2.5 minutes, it's because it's unsafe to, or I don't care to, and an extra minute and a half is not going to change that, and I'd rather it expire sooner so I can pick up something else.
Exactly. So that's what I was thinking too. Is it if you keep trying to regain, you can't go to that area where your scav is anymore.
Exactly.
You have a minute and a half more now that you can use to start another contract, since that's going to end earlier. So that's a good change.
Yeah. And then the bounty contest public event, chances of happening have been reduced to leave room for the recon flyover. That is fine. Frankly. Because, yeah, on Resurgence, the bounty contest changes almost nothing. You know, like Tanner just said, you know where people are. You know there are people there. Like, is someone on Prison Roof of literally every Resurgence game that's occurring right now? Even though I'm not playing any of them, yes. The answer is yes. Always. Like, you know where people are. People are on Big Green. People are in Control. People are on Prison Roof. Like, people are in Grandma's. You always kind of know. So, like, oh, a bounty, there's a guy there. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, so, anyway. Whatever. Moving on from that. New weapons. Sort of. Psych. They've added a spear.
Sig Spear?
Oh, the new Sig Spear? Developed by Sig Sauer? Chambered in 6.8, the new default round of the United States Army? Nope. A spear.
Oh.
A pole with a pointy metal edge at the end of it.
That's what
that they used in pre-dynastic Egypt is what I'm talking about.
Is it
actually.
wood or metal?
It looks to be some sort of polymer, but the design really hasn't changed in upward of 10,000 years in real life. Yikes. The game title we're talking about, by the way, is called Modern Warfare. Just in case you forgot, we've gotten a spear.
Bro's a realism snob.
In Modern Warfare, not a Sig Spear, which would have been great.
Realistic operators only. Okay, man. He's so mad.
I am mad that we.
I think, dude, does it one shot down in Warzone? Because I've seen some clips, and every clip I've seen, they one shot down somebody.
To the head or arms, it does. To the chest, it does not.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah, I've received that.
Perfect.
So the unique thing about this melee weapon is that in addition to being able to stab people like you're in a Roman phalanx, you can also throw it like you're at the Olympic Games. The first one ever, in fact, had javelin throwing, I guess it was called. But anyway, whatever. You can throw this. That's it, though. That's the only unique thing. And by the way, speaking of melee weapons in this godforsaken video game, I had the distinct displeasure of equipping a melee weapon in multiplayer because I wanted to just do all the battle pass challenges to unlock the whatever it was. I think it was a spear, I guess. Just because it bothers me when there are things locked, and it was easy to do, so whatever. So a lot of that is you have to have a melee weapon. So I had the distinct, as I said, displeasure of equipping a melee weapon, and I was reminded of how often they add melee weapons to this game and call it new content. I had like dual Kadachis, dual Kamas, a Wakizashi, a Nagakiba, a Katana, a spear now, a Karambit, a knife, a combat knife, like an Arumi. There are way too many melee weapons. They all do the same thing. Why are we adding these and calling it new content? Now, again, the spear has one unique feature. You can throw it, but most of the melee weapons they add are basically no different. Like you get a sledgehammer. It's also a one-hit kill in multiplayer, like every other melee weapon.
It also auto locks on like every melee weapon. It's just a different animation.
It's just a different animation. It has different movement speed and it has different range. That's it. But that's like the only difference between all the melee weapons. I don't care enough. Have one or two. Like I remember the good old days of BO4 where they would also add DLC weapons, multiple, every season, setting aside the gambling loot box aspect of that. They were never melee weapons. We had like a knife in that game. We had a ballistic knife, which, you know what? That's different enough. I'll take it. Fine. And also they didn't add a billion. It was always like a honey badger, whatever, the full auto shotgun that had the wrongest weapon description I've ever seen. Do you remember that, Tanner? What was it called? The really gross full auto shotgun in BO4. Oh man. It was extremely overpowered. Overpowered.
I feel like it started with an S.
I don't know. If I heard it, I would know it, but I don't remember. But anyways,
Rampage?
Syrian. Rampage.
It was a Rampage, right? And you put the big drum mag on it?
Yep. I'm almost positive that's it.
Yeah, it's a Rampage. Starts
I remember when it came out, I was watching Syrian and he like was using it and like laughing at how ridiculously overpowered it is. And then he read the description of it and it was like Full auto shotgun, reliable for like stalking tactically your opponents or whatever.
Got it.
It was something that was just totally opposite of how you would actually use it, because in reality, you're pushing everything with it. Like, it was like the most wrong a weapon description could possibly be, and it was really funny. Yeah. That's what I remember about that, and it was disgustingly overpowered. But anyways, we got a spear, meanwhile, in 2024. Thanks. So cool. Oh, but there were 2 weapons added. Raz? Well, we also got a launcher. Now, I say launcher. I don't know why they put it in the launcher category. It's a crossbow. It's called the Torque 35. Actually, it's a compound bow.
Yeah, idiot.
Okay. And normally they put these types of things, bow and arrows, crossbows, atlatls, in the marksman rifle category.
Marksman, your sniper or something, yeah.
But in this case, they put it in the launcher category, which is a weird choice. Although I'm in favor of it, because the only practical difference this makes is that you can have way less reserve ammo. So instead of being able to have like 40 reserve, like sniping, you can only have 6 reserve because it's a launcher and it uses launcher ammo. Super dumb. It's a compound bow. It works that way. I mean, you can shoot people, and then you can get different little bows, so you can get like the explosive tipped ones, whatever. Super dumb, not fun, not interesting. And that's it. So.
Got it.
Okay, cool. I've received that. Let's move on to the new aftermarket parts. So these are not out yet, and we've already heard of these, but we'll just remind you guys. For week 6, which is going to be next week, we're going to get the Jack Death March, which will go on the Ball 27. Because week 5 challenge, which is live now, is for the crossbow. So we haven't gotten any new aftermarket parts this week. But next week, the Jack Death March for the Ball, which is going to replace standard ammo with high voltage power cells, and the barrel with a photonic scatter barrel. Fire spread of lethal laser blasts that take down enemies at short range.
That'll be terrible.
So it'll be miserable.
Really bad.
It'll be bad. It's going to use AR ammo, but it's only going to be good up close, if it's good up close at all. So, okay, got it. Won't be using that. And then week 7, the Jack Devastators, which is going to make the Reclaimer 18 shotgun akimbo. And you will become a mobile artillery barrage with this aftermarket part. Accuracy and recoil control are minimal, but destruction is maximized. And I don't know why they keep adding shotguns and akimbo shotguns, because every time they do, it's either terrible or it's competitive, and then everyone whines, and then they make it terrible by nerfing it a lot, which is exactly what's going to happen here. They're either going to suck insta, or they're going to be good insta, and then they will nerf it to make it suck a lot, and then no one will use them again. So why add it at all at that point? It doesn't make sense to me. So, okay. And then week 8, I don't think we're getting an aftermarket part. So I think we're done with aftermarket parts, unfortunately. So moving on from that, we got some weapon balance. Oh boy, did they do it. Let's find out. So I'm not reading all of these because a lot of them do not matter at all. So, and most of this is damage range changes actually as well. So like the ball got more range. The DG56 got its lower torso modifier increased by 10%. Got it. It's still not good. The FR556, which is a burst fire rifle, I'm not reading it to you. Holger 556 damage increase. MCW's damage range was buffed again. Doesn't matter still. M16 from MW2, which I will remind you once again is a burst fire rifle, did get its conversion kit changed by adding 5 meters of max damage range. Still doesn't matter. And then last, but certainly not least, the STG-44. Now, Tanner, what was your recommendation for how they ought to nerf the STG-44 to make it still competitive, but not overpowered in Warzone?
Just the close range damage, because it sucks at long range. So I was saying probably another bullet or 2 close range would be good. About 1 more bullet to kill inside of its first damage range. Yeah. Shockingly, I am very pleased to report that's exactly what they did. Yeah, they did it, huh? Max damage decreased to 32, down from 36. What they mean by max damage, I have figured out, is how much damage it does to an enemy inside of its first damage range to a region of the body that has no multiplier. So not the 0.95 region, not the 1.1 region, but whatever is 1.0 inside the first damage range. That's what max damage means.
In the STG's case, that is upper and lower leg is a 1.0 multiplier. That was doing 36. Now it's doing 32. But that obviously also applies to zones that have multipliers.
Yeah.
So if the lower arm is a 0.95 multiplier, I don't think it is, but if it was, it would now be doing 32 times 0.95 damage instead of 36 times 0.95. And likewise, that applies to stomach and chest, which is what is important. And it is, in fact, one more bullet to kill if you're hitting like chest and stomach inside of its first damage range. So I don't know how this changes the math with respect to headshots. You can definitely still get 7 or less bullet downs if you mix in some headshots. The question is just how many. But I played, as I said, a lot since this nerf, and I think this is like really good.
A little bit more time to react. Every time I die to
the STG now, it is 8 bullets in the little death recap instead of 7. And it feels very good to use. And it still feels like, you know, bad to get shot by it. But it's not so fast anymore that you just don't have time to react. I think this was a great little nerf, and it's exactly what we recommended, shockingly.
Yeah, seems like they did it. And also with a lot of these other guns where they increase the damage ranges, it's kind of got a lot of these more in line with the STG, because since the STG did suck at long range, it wasn't very good. Now, a lot of these, like the BAL, for example, or like the Holger 5.56, getting like an extra 4 meters of damage range, that's doing a lot more damage, an extra 4 meters than it used to before. And in that range, like between, you know, the 30 to 40 meter area, that's where a lot of your gunfights are taking place on both maps. That's a very common engagement distance. Yeah, so yeah, I think it seems like they've got a pretty decent little meta now, to be honest. That's everything I've been seeing, is there are a lot of guns that are very close to each other, a lot of viable weapons now. So yeah, seems like a good change.
Yes. So yeah, the meta is not totally settled yet. But we'll talk about it more when we're done with all these, because there's some other relevant ones to talk about. But the STG is still quite good, and I would say it's still the best weapon to use on Rebirth and Fortune's Keep, and probably Vondel too.
Yeah,
maybe also on Urzikstan, although I am not so sure about that anymore. But it's still like super competitive. It's just not like disgustingly overpowered anymore.
Yeah.
Which is good, because they didn't change anything else. Like, it's still really easy to control. It's still ADS is pretty quick for like a primary option.
Still fun, satisfying.
It's still fun and satisfying, and it still does good damage. It's just not as insane as it was. So moving on to battle rifles. None of it matters. SMGs, some more relevant stuff here. So the Rival 9 had its max damage range increased by 3 meters, which actually is relevant now because of the static nerf, which we're about to get into, and because of the Rival 9 buffs that we had gotten, I think, when Season 5 launched. So with the buffs we had, plus this buff here to its first damage range, the Rival 9 is actually a competitive SMG at the moment.
Have you tried it yet?
I don't think it's the best option, but it's in the conversation, and you're not just like dumb for using it. Basically, it's like pretty good. It's in there. It's in the mix. The static was nerfed a good amount. Mid damage decreased to 24 from 25. So that's its second damage range. Max damage range decreased to 14 from 16 meters. Second damage range decreased to 25 from 30 meters. Mid damage range decreased to 35 from 40 meters. None of that matters too much, besides the mid damage value being lowered by 1, because that probably means 1 more shot to kill at mid damage range. These are the big ones, though. Leg and foot modifier is now 0.95 from 1.0. Sort of a big deal. Not really actually a big deal, because with an SMG, most of the time you're not shooting people in the leg or the foot. Here's the big one. Headshot modifier decreased to 1.2, down from 1.4.
That was doing some damage.
Hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what was making it good, because the gun, to me, I never loved how it felt, but you would get that random headshot, and that one headshot alone would make the time to kill a lot quicker. So
Yeah.
without that, the guns, I would
20%
probably
less headshot damage.
I'll probably be swapping off of it because I never was a huge fan of it to begin with.
Yeah, same. So every change to it was a nerf. Now it's still good, it's still usable, but on top of its terrible iron sights and terrible movement speed, I don't really think it's worth running anymore, in my opinion. And we'll get into that in a second. The striker was buffed. Max damage range increased 2 meters. Near mid damage range increased also 2 meters. That's it. Not a very big deal, but something. And then the Lockman Shroud from MW2 had its max damage range increased by 1 for a particular aftermarket part, which makes it full auto. I did see some people using this, but I haven't looked at the numbers actually, to be fair. Let me pull them up. But I don't think it's very good, to be honest, because you're giving up an attachment slot to run that. Because the Lockman Shroud is a burst fire MP5, but with this aftermarket part,
it
becomes full auto. Yeah, but it's like, why am I gonna sack an attachment slot to run a full auto SMG when I can just use a full auto SMG and keep my 5 attachments? But let me look at the TTK real quick.
It would have to have essentially the fastest time to kill.
Yeah,
for that to be worth it. I'm sure it's competitive.
You know what? Which it does.
Does it?
It has the fastest time to kill up to 12 meters, but barely.
Yeah, they're all pretty close now, huh?
They're all very close. Yeah.
What did you throw in there?
Wisp 9, Super E, Horus conversion kit, Rival 9, Striker, BP50 conversion kit.
Yeah.
And it is killing faster than the BP50 conversion kit, its next competitor, by 9 milliseconds to the chest. So, yeah, I don't think worth it. But actually, might be. I didn't realize it was that. Because, you know what, dude? Okay, this might be it, actually. It's pretty good. Here, I'm just going to send you the screenshot. This is to the chest. And you can look in internal, right under Warzone here, just so you can see it. The pink line is the Lockman Shroud with a conversion kit. That is pretty good to the chest.
I saw a couple of clips of it on Twitter, but usually it's just like the super sweat little nerds that always use weird guns.
Yeah. So I would say this isn't a bad option. I don't know if it's necessarily the best option because I haven't used it yet, but I'm inclined to think it isn't because, again, first of all, it's an MP5, so the reload is slower than every other SMG because you have to do the stupid whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. So the reload speed probably sucks. You have 1 less attachment slot. That's not great. The irons are pretty good, probably if it's an MP5 though.
The irons
so maybe
are
you
good.
can make up for it by just not running an optic. Okay. But also it's an MW2 gun. So I don't remember. I haven't used this gun in a very long time, but movement speed probably isn't great on it either. So I don't know. I'm going to try this though. It might be in the conversation. And then that's it for SMGs. But now that the static is, in my opinion, out, then the question is, what is like the meta SMG right now? And I don't think anyone's decided because I've been playing ranked. People are using a bunch of different stuff. So like in ranked Resurgence in the highest SBMM bracket, by the way, because there are only 2 lobbies in ranked Resurgence. There is platinum and below lobbies, which are fun, exciting, and full of terrible players, or the diamond and up lobbies, which is where the cheaters are. FIFA kill is regularly. Unfortunately, I fought him actually like a dozen times in the last 2 weeks because there are only, as I said, 2 lobbies, and then all the cheaters, iridescent kids, whatever. And so in those highest ranked lobbies that I've been playing in, I've been seeing only the STG, which makes sense. But for subs, I've been seeing a lot. I've seen people still using the static. I've seen a lot of people going back to the Super E, which is way more competitive than it used to be now because of the static nerf. I've seen the Rival 9. I've seen a lot of Strikers. And I've seen 1 or 2 Lockman Shrouds. And then a few people who are smart like I am, using what I think is the new best option, the FJX Horus with the conversion kit. Because it's got quite a competitive time to kill. You can run no stock on it with, even on KBAM, you can run no stock on it. I was doing it and it doesn't move.
Yeah, but doesn't it put the optic really far away? That's what I didn't like it, if that's a gun. Or maybe that was on the static it does that. Static with no stock, your optic is
interesting.
4 feet away from you.
I didn't know. I don't think
and
it
that
does,
bugs
no.
the hell out of me.
I don't think it does. If it does, I didn't notice it. But because I ran it
I haven't tried no stock on it ever.
I ran it with like a normal stock and with no stock. But like, it's kind of weird, but if you're running an optic, you can absolutely get away with it, even on KBAM, because it will like bounce around a lot, but it doesn't climb anywhere. So it's just like a lot of visual recoil. But it's not even like up and down visual, which is really jarring. It's almost like it's forward and back. Here's the motion. Forward and backward.
It is, yeah.
Bouncing, which is like weird looking, but it's not hard to aim it, you know?
Yeah.
So you can actually get away with no stock even on KBAM, which is shocking. Because you can basically never do that. And you can even get away with no stock and no optic if you're on roller. Like Jake was using it, and it was like totally fine. Because the irons on the Horus conversion kit are actually quite good. And even I was tempted to test it, but I'm on KBAM. I don't want to risk losing people under my irons, especially when SR is on the line. But anyways, I think that is the best option right now, is the Horus conversion kit. 60 round mag. You can run no stock, so you still get good movement speed. Fast fire rate, so it's quite forgiving. And very competitive time to kill. And a really long first damage range. Longer than every other SMG that's relevant, except for the Lockman Shroud. So, pretty good. And really fun to use. Just tasty gun to use. So I was very pleased with that. So yeah, the SMG meta is like wide open right now. There's more stuff for me to try, but those are a couple things to keep in mind. Moving on to LMGs. The MW2 RPK conversion kit was nerfed because way too many people were running it. Psych.
Yes.
And then the Polemyot was also buffed. Neck modifier, 10% more. Lower torso and hand modifier, 10% more. Sprint to fire time, 20 milliseconds faster. ADS time, 30 milliseconds faster. And here's the big one. Rate of fire, 492 to 545 RPM.
You don't see them do that too often.
You don't, because that's a crazy buff. A fire rate buff, it directly translates to good. I mean, it's more forgiving that way. It has a faster time to kill that way. It's just good.
I wonder how close that is
like more recoil,
to that conversion kit, though, now.
But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if that applies to the conversion kit or not. That's
well, no. I'm assuming it doesn't. I'm just saying, I wonder how much closer that is now compared to what the Polemyot conversion kit is. Because the Polemyot conversion kit, the fire rate felt pretty good on that. So I'm wondering how close this is now.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't think... So when I compared the converted to unconverted Polemyot before this update, the unconverted one did have a lot faster of a time to kill. So don't think you'd be wanting to use the conversion kit anyways, unless I'm missing something. But this is a crazy buff to the Polemyot. And the only reason I was not seeing it all the time in ranked is because it's an LMG. But like on Urzikstan, I can't imagine this is not the best gun right now. I haven't looked at it too closely, to be fair, but I mean, that's crazy. And it was pretty competitive before a fire rate increase. So now that it has better, like lower torso, hand, neck multis, faster ADS time and faster fire rate, it's probably absolutely bonkers. And by the way, now that there's a quartermaster suppressor in the game, you're getting even more recoil control. So if you haven't used this gun in a while, it's better and easier to control than you remember it being, because there is the quartermaster suppressor now, which helps with your recoil a ton. And I've used this and it is very controllable now. Yeah.
I think this might be the big map meta. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
And I was right. So this is going to feel similar to that conversion kit, because the new fire rate now is 545. The conversion kit fire rate is 570. So that's going to feel very similar to that. That's more what I was getting at, because the conversion kit felt really good. I liked that fire rate. The base gun before felt awful. So now they've essentially just made it so the base Polemiot is similar to that conversion kit, but it also just kills way faster up close, medium range, long range, all of it. So yeah, like long range, the Polemiot is it's like a 950 millisecond time to kill, and then
That
up close,
is bonkers,
and then
by
up
the
close,
way.
it's 699, 700 or so.
Yeah.
That sounds
really
like the big map
gross.
meta, yeah. Because STG at that long range, what is the STG? It's like 12, 1300, isn't it? It's bad.
Something bad.
At
a
long
lot
range.
slower. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what it is. STG is it's like 1100. That's chest. It's like 1100, so about 200 milliseconds slower. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, pretty good. And I mean, if you're willing to run an LMG, another thing I always talk about with a lot of guns is you get a free attachment slot, so you don't have to run a mag. Some people are probably going to opt to run a mag anyway for like faster reload speed. I think a Polemiot has a smaller box option, but I'm not. I'll just take the standard whatever 100, I think, and then take that extra attachment slot, get even more recoil control if you want, which would be a lot, by the way, because you'd be adding probably a rear grip, and those can help a lot. Yeah, so quite good, but haven't used it yet, really. I've used it a little bit, but not on big map. So anyway, marksman rifles, don't care. Handguns also don't. Oh, well, I'll just read this. For every single pistol, they have nerfed akimbo. Well, they've changed it. Decreased the hip fires. Oh, they've buffed it. Excuse me. Decreased hip fire spread by 20%. So tighter hip fire spread for akimbo. And decreased the damage range penalty by 20%. So 20% more damage range when akimbo. They did this to every gun by different percentages, but they did it to not every gun, but a lot of the pistols, a ton of them. Including, unfortunately, the F-Tac Siege, which is fully automatic. So, weird they did that, but okay, I guess. Still haven't seen anyone running anything akimbo, though. So, and then some bug fixes, and that is it for the mid-season update. Now, you might be thinking that sounded like just a weekly patch.
Like a Tuesday?
From Raven and Caldera, like a Tuesday, a random Tuesday from Raven and Caldera. You'd be right. Yeah, not much going on.
That was the amount of weapon balancing they would do every other week. Yeah.
Actually, like literally. So yeah, I mean, what did we get with this mid-season update that's actually relevant? Let's see. We got elite contracts, which is cool and good, but not super huge. Recon flyover public event. Again, cool, not that big of a deal. And that is actually it. And
an
some
STG
weapon
nerf.
balance.
Yeah.
And an STG nerf, yeah. And a
Which, to be
status nerf.
fair, is what most people wanted anyways, but that didn't have to wait till a mid-season update to get.
It certainly didn't have to wait this long, and we got basically no new content that's actually relevant. We got two guns, or weapons, excuse me, which don't matter. And then, I mean, some decent weapon balance, but like, yeah, nothing crazy. And by the way, if the Polemiot is like the new meta primary for big map, well, we've had Polemiot metas honors extend before. Why couldn't we have done this to something else? Like, why wasn't it the Wrap or something? Or an AR, even better. But like, if it has to be an LMG, why not make it to an LMG that has not been relevant yet? But of course they do it to the Polemiot. So it's like the long range meta is still going to be one of probably two guns that have already been meta before. And then the short range meta is actually pretty good. I will give them that. But that's it. I mean, that's an abysmal mid-season update. Very little new content. And that's kind of been par for the course, unfortunately, with MW3. But even by MW3 standards, this is very scant in terms of new content. Because at least before, we had been getting a new gun that shot bullets.
Oh, yeah. That would be nice to have a gun. Yeah.
That shoots bullets out of it. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Or any gun. You're right. Shoot flush it rounds. I don't care. But we didn't even get that. So okay. At least the weapon balance was decent, though. I'll give it that. But that's about the only accolade I can give to this mid-season update. So,
Fellas, do you want your grooming routine to be a one and done deal? Well, the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your private parts are over. Thanks to our friends at MANSCAPED, they've come up with the ultimate package to keep your hairs trimmed from 12 to 6. Introducing the Beard and Balls Bundle, featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger, a trimmer for the moneymaker and another for those little boys downstairs. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping. Use the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com for the premium grooming experience. Trust Manscaped. First up, guys, your balls. This is going to be your new best friend. It's the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Say goodbye to endless passes. This trimmer gets it right the first time, cutting through the bushiest of bushes effortlessly while being gentle on the skin and your delicate little places. With 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, you can choose between a precise trim or a smooth finish. Also, did I mention it's waterproof? Yes, you can trim in the shower and avoid making a mess everywhere. Perfect for those who appreciate efficiency. Next up, let's talk about that Beard Hedger, which I will be using right after this. Whether you're going for a neat stubble or a full-on lumberjack look, this trimmer has you covered. Featuring a titanium-coated stainless steel T-blade with 20 length options, you can achieve any style you want with just the twist of the zoom wheel. Just like the lawnmower, the Beard Hedger is also waterproof, so you can handle your beard grooming right in the sink or shower without worrying about water damage. With up to 60 minutes of runtime and an LED charge indicator, you will never be caught mid-trim with a dead battery, ever. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra ensures you're always looking your best below the waist, while the Beard Hedger takes care of everything above. Get 20% off free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. No more juggling multiple tools or dealing with subpar results. Just efficient, effective grooming whenever you need it.
moving on from there, quickly cover the multiplayer and just general patch notes for Season 5. Everything but the Warzone exclusive ones. They write a lot of words, big words. Ink House, which is a Stash House variant in the cell shade, whatever thing. Some new game modes. We've talked about pretty much all of this already.
Oh, that paintball mode has enhanced sliding movements. Did we talk about that? Did we know that?
I don't think we did, because I remember we talked about it, but we didn't read that part, so they must not have included it.
If this is in private matches, I would like to try a round of this tomorrow night.
That would be fun. Yeah.
That would be kind of interesting.
But all weapons are one-shot kills, as we talked about. Yeah, anyway. So the new guns, the new aftermarket parts, some new events. Okay. Some bug fixes. And
not
then a
much.
bunch of weapon balance that I'm super not reading.
It's the same stuff, yeah.
The infantry vest has gotten a second gear perk slot added to it, so that might be relevant. Although it doesn't apply to ranked play, so I've got that. Some other changes, zombies, and that's it. So yeah, I mean, even worse if you're a multiplayer player. Even worse of an update. Yeah.
They're putting the finishing touches on the Halloween event, man, which will be next season, so we're getting nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the launch of Season 6 even will be pretty slow, because I bet Season 6 will be the Halloween event season, so the launch, we probably won't get much, and then we'll get the massive mid-season update, which will bring all of that content. But don't expect much at the start of the next season, I would imagine.
I agree. I think at the start of next season, the biggest things we're going to get are 1 or 2 new relevant weapons. 0 to 2 new relevant weapons. I think we'll get a gun that shoots bullets, at least 1. And that may or may not enter the meta. But we'll see. Well, that is probably about all we're getting at the launch of Season 6, yeah. And then mid-season, we'll get, like a Halloween event, and that'll be cool, and we will talk about it, but and by the way, on this mid-season update, we shouldn't have been expecting anything, to be fair, which I wasn't. They're in full steam ahead, COD Next prep, BO6 campaigning season now. So this game's life cycle is basically over. It's just not technically over. They're already full steam ahead on BO6. So yeah, we're not really getting any substantive changes to this game.
They got to finish for Dansk, man.
Actually.
That's what Raven's doing.
Yeah. So anyway. And that's it for patches and changes that have already happened. Now, on to Brighter Horizons news and also upcoming changes. So first of all, we had already talked about this last week, although it has since happened. On the 20th, we got 7 minutes of BO6 campaign gameplay.
Yeah, that was crazy.
On a mission called Most Wanted.
We both watched it.
It was so crazy that no one talked about it.
Well, you and I watched it.
Sure, we definitely watched all of it.
It was good. It was cool. Yeah, no.
We're not lying, and we did watch the whole thing.
I don't care about this at all because the game has been leaked entirely. I've seen all the gameplay. I don't care about the cinematic campaign gameplay walkthrough, personally. So, yeah, I also heard nobody talk about this at all other than a few Charlie Intel tweets and a couple nerds who were into the lore, which I'm not, so doesn't interest me. But yeah, so if you actually somehow haven't seen the leaks, then go ahead and go watch that BO6 campaign gameplay walkthrough. But I would imagine it doesn't really show much gameplay. It's just some guy walking around, slowly spinning around, graphics turned to the max, no HUD. So, but it's out there if you haven't seen other gameplay leaks.
Motion
and you
blur on.
Yeah.
FOV minimum, film grain maxed.
Maximum.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't watch it either. I explicitly opened the link, pressed play, and was like, nah, don't care. Because you're right. There's nothing to learn from this unless you care about the lore and stuff. And if you do care about the lore and stuff, by the way, I'm not watching this. I'll wait till I play it myself. I don't want spoilers. So who is this for? Anyway, don't care, didn't watch it, but it's out if you want to go watch it yourself. But we definitely didn't learn anything from it that we didn't already know, because if we had, that would have shown up on our radar. But
yeah.
no one said
well, only
anything
4
about
people
it,
watched
literally.
the trailer, so maybe there is a lot of intel in there.
That's fair. So anyway, whatever. Moving on from that. What is this next thing?
Next tweet here from Charlie Intel. It says, for those asking, there has been no announcements about any early access for Black Ops 6 campaign. For MW3 and MW2, the early access was announced by this point during their respective announce cycles. Not clear if it will be happening again this year. So, yeah, not sure if we're getting early access campaign. This is the main reason I would play the campaign if there was early access. However, last year I really didn't. But not sure. Yeah, you would think they would have said something by now, like a pre-order bonus as you get early access to the campaign 1 week early. So kind of a really poor decision, I think, if they don't do it this way, because, I mean, the amount of players playing through the campaign will drop probably in half if you don't release it early. But also, does it really matter? You're paying for the game anyways, so it's like maybe they just don't care if people play the campaign. I don't know. But there had been people talking about maybe getting zombies a week early too. Haven't heard anything else about that. Haven't heard any updates on those leaks, so I would imagine those were just wrong. But yeah, if we get no campaign early access, I definitely will not be even launching the I won't even be installing it at that point.
I won't install it. It will not be installed. Yeah, exactly. So I hope it is. So, okay, if they do zombies instead of campaign, the massive Omega W. That would be great. I would much prefer that. That seems unlikely though. So if we don't get any gameplay early access, that would suck. And it means I'm absolutely never playing the campaign, because the only way you are getting me to play the campaign between zombies and multiplayer is if you give me the campaign and only the campaign early. Otherwise, I'm never playing the campaign. Yeah. Because if they don't have anything for early access, then the game's going to launch and I'll be able to play campaign or multiplayer or zombies. I will never be playing campaign, literally. So I hope they do zombies early access. That would be great. But that's less likely. So in terms of things that are actually somewhat likely, I do hope they do an early access campaign, because I would enjoy playing it and I would play it if they did do the 1 week early access for it again. But they might not. They've done it the last 2 years, but the last 2 years was also before the Microsoft acquisition of Activision. So maybe that will factor into why they don't do it this year. I don't see why they wouldn't, though, to be honest with you. I don't know what the logic would be to not doing it if it's easy enough to do it, to provide the early access to the campaign. So if I had to guess, I would say we are getting the BO6 campaign a week early, just like we've been getting the campaign a week early for the last 2 years, but maybe not. We haven't heard anything yet. And keep in mind also, this game is launching earlier in the year than a COD game has released for a long time, because we're getting it, October 25th? And pretty much every game in my memory for at least the last 5 years has launched in like November. So that could be part of maybe why they wouldn't give us early access to the campaign. I don't know, but something to keep in mind there as well. So regardless, thought we would point that out. And then here is something wild. The last exciting thing we have to talk about, and then we have one other thing that might excite some of you, although I don't know why it would. There have been leaks.
It should not excite a single person.
It should not excite almost anyone. And
I don't even know why it's in here, yeah.
I will include it because the image was kind of funny, honestly. But before we get to that, the fun and exciting thing, Charlie Intel tweeted a couple hours ago, the leaks of Area 99 map are that it is a Resurgence map developed by Treyarch, which is now confirmed as it says new map premiere with Treyarch. And Verdansk, Charlie Intel reminds us, is rumored for spring 2025. Attached to this tweet is an image that appears to be a promotional image that someone like data mined from files somewhere. So yeah, even though this is not an official announcement of the map Area 99, it appears to be a leak of an official announcement that has not yet officially been announced of a map called Area 99.
I can show this, right? Think I can pull this up and show? Okay.
Yeah, almost certainly. Yeah.
Okay, then here we go. I got it pulled up for the viewers here. This is as big as I can make it, but see the little image right here on the left?
Yeah. So we see in the background is a map. There's a little street with some cars on it, some sand, no water on the screenshot, which makes me real happy.
Great point. No water.
Although there probably is water on this map, I don't see any here, so that's nice. I'm going to cope and pretend there isn't water on this map. There will be. And then it says Call of Duty Warzone on the top, and then it says Area 99 in the middle. New map premiere with Treyarch, live gameplay, game features deep dive with Raven. So I'm guessing someone leaked this or data mined it from something that is intended to appear at Call of Duty next.
Yeah, or maybe they're going to release it tomorrow, because Treyarch also teased something about Liberty Falls tomorrow, so maybe COD will put out a little blog post talking about COD Next, because they even put out the whole list of the creators going to COD next week, so maybe they're kind of trickling the stuff out, so maybe this will become public tomorrow. But yeah, don't really know how to describe the map other than it seems like some sort of refinery, maybe. A lot of smoke in the background, a lot of industrial looking buildings.
It looks like a big like generator in the very top right. You see
it's
that?
Reminding me
like a
of
nuclear fusion reactor.
Yes. It's reminding me of the area we really liked on Maz up in the north end of the map, the oil field. What was it called? Rohan. It's giving me Resurgence.
Oh, Rohan.
It's giving me Resurgence, like Rohan oil vibes, kind of. A lot of small buildings, though. Looks fine from this screenshot. Hard to gauge, but it's definitely desert themed. There's some
bright
cactus,
sun, bright
dead
clear
trees.
day. It looks like.
Yeah, it appears that way. Even like this truck model is interesting. It's a very interesting little model.
Bro's interested by the truck model.
Well, it's just weird. It's like, what kind of truck is that, man? What model is that?
I don't know, bro.
You looking at that thing? Is this like an 80s truck? Is this a Gulf War truck? Is this a early... What is this thing?
It doesn't super interest me, but I'm glad.
I'm really interested, man.
Yeah.
Is that
you know what interests me is the
that
color
Nuketown?
palette.
That's the Nuketown truck at mid, brother. Tell you what.
Oh yeah, kind of, yeah. The color palette's kind of interesting. I don't know what the salmon colored roofs are on the left here.
Salomon. Yeah, that's Salomon color. You're right. Also. It looks like Star Wars. That's what it is. It's giving me Star Wars vibes. This is a Star
Tatooine,
Wars Resurgence map. Yes.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like that vibe a lot. So this could be cool, man. And again, this is supposed to be the Resurgence map. So
yeah, the rumors are that this is coming in season 1 of BO6. So that would likely be in like December, maybe late November, probably late November actually. So pretty soon after launch, but not right away. Along with changes to Urzikstan and ranked play. And in addition, another rumor is that once season 1 happens and they drop Area 99, it will replace Rebirth Island, but Fortune's Keep will stick around. Those are all rumors, but I mean, I don't know.
I don't believe it because that seems too stupid to do. We were talking about this before we went live. Here's the thing. Rebirth Island should literally just never leave this game again, ever. It should always be here, no matter what. It needs to stay in Warzone. If they need to take it down for 2 or 3 months to do an overhaul and make things look different, give it a little facelift, okay, maybe. But basically, it should not go again. And the fact, Fortune's Keep should be deleted from the developers' hard drives. It should not exist anywhere in the world. They should delete and burn every copy of it possible, blow up the headquarters where it was developed, without people inside, of course. I'm just saying blow up the computers so no one has access to Fortune's Keep, and they can't do any more work on it because it's so bad. So that's where we should start for sure. But anyways... Yeah, I think that would be insane, and I actually don't believe that leak because that seems way too stupid to remove Rebirth Island for Fortune's Keep. So I don't believe it, but that is a leak from...
some guy. That's another thing.
It's from Alex. He's the leaker nobody believes. I just realized that right now. But some of he's the one who's wrong about. This is, I believe, the guy that our buddy Tommy is not a fan of at all because everything he says is wrong. So this is wrong actually because Alex said it. So sorry guys, sorry I wasted your time. It's wrong.
Yeah, so I mean, anything's possible with Activision. We don't really know, but yeah, I would put very little stock in that rumor. I hope it doesn't replace Rebirth. I hope even more that Fortune's Keep doesn't stay. I'd rather there not be Resurgence playable at all than it be playable only on Fortune's Keep. That's how bad that map is now. So we don't know if that rumor is true. I hope it's not. It doesn't seem likely to be true also because keep in mind, we got Fortune's Keep in MW 3 before we got Rebirth Island in MW 3. So it would be weird for them to replace the map that has had less time in the current game than replace the map that's had more time, which would be Fortune's Keep. So if it's going to replace anything, it seems like Fortune's Keep would be the one it replaces. But I guess we'll see. It may not replace anything. It may replace both of them. We don't actually know. But the rumors that are much more likely to be true are that it's coming in season 1 of BO6. That's almost certainly true. And that there will be changes to ranked play. That's almost certainly true. And then changes to Urzikstan in season 1. That also seems somewhat less likely than the other. I mean, I just mentioned.
That's what the leakers have been saying now for a few weeks. Is that we would see.
I guess it depends what they mean by changes to Urzikstan.
Some map changes. I don't know what it would be, but I'm not expecting some massive overhaul. I'm thinking like a green slime at pop-up type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe a dust storm or something they've already designed and they can easily just ruin the map, just make all of downtown covered in dust or something.
Some fun, exciting way they could just piss all over the playability.
Yeah, just ruin it for the last few months to really make people excited for Verdansk if we ever get it. Yeah. But I'm excited obviously for the map to be revealed next week, but I'm more excited to hear the game features deep dive with Raven. That will be interesting because there have been a lot of leaks on that, like the wild card system, having a unlimited attack sprint perk in Warzone, little things like that. I think that'll be fun to get into.
Yeah.
Also to kind of figure out when all that's coming, if we just get all of that with the integration, and then Verdansk is literally just the map. That's what I'm assuming. So, because that's kind of I feel weird about Warzone right now because I keep thinking like we're not even going to have a new map till March, but we're still supposed to get all of these gameplay changes in like 2 months basically. But it doesn't feel like that.
Omni movement.
But it doesn't feel like that because we're not getting a new map, so it doesn't feel like a Warzone update. So it's odd, but that's what they're saying. So, and don't forget, we will be live streaming that next week, which is Wednesday the 28th. There will not be a normal Wednesday pod. I don't know how do we usually do it. We just upload the whole raw thing basically. Audio also, yeah. So it'll be miserable to listen to. You'll want to watch that one, but
it'll be fine to listen to. It'll be great to listen to. You guys should listen to it. But you should definitely watch it instead. It'd be better that way, yeah. We've done it before. We didn't get any complaints. Anyways, yeah, we'll get more into that at the end of the show today, and on Saturday we'll remind you again. But yeah, overall, I am with you. The map itself, based on the image we have here, doesn't look bad at all. So that's already like a big W, because it's not disqualified already out of the gate from being a good map. Now, it's possible it's a terrible map still, but we don't know that yet. And it could be a great map. This image does not disqualify it from
I'm
being
seeing
a
a
great
lot
map.
of zips, man.
And that's
I see
good.
two.
I'm a big zip guy.
Yeah, I see one vertical zip right here. God, I can't get over that truck. You're not interested in this truck? I'm zoomed in on this. You don't find this truck interesting? It's like a Mad Max truck, guys. Come on. Somebody agree with me here. Look at these vehicles.
The one that's driving in the road looks like it's like a cattle truck, doesn't it? Like some little horses in there or something?
It's something, yeah. I feel like this area is going to have a lot of underground bunkers. Another zip over here. Rideable giraffes are finally coming to Warzone, yeah.
Oh, no.
That's hilarious.
Anyways.
Yeah, this is a great truck. I'll tell you what. I can't wait to get in there.
Someone stop this guy. Go play some truck
think you can
simulator.
mantle on top of that thing? I hope there's a zip going right to that truck.
Okay. Anyways, the map image looks promising, number one. So that's cool. A new Resurgence map finally would also be cool, because we have not gotten a proper new Resurgence map added to the game, I think, since Vondel. I think that is the last Resurgence map we got. And you might not even want to count Vondel, because Vondel's like really big. So maybe if you're like a Resurgence purist, the last new proper Resurgence map, since Vondel's so big it has an adjusted player count, the last new proper Resurgence map we got was Ashika Island. And this was, I mean, billions of years ago. So like getting a new proper, and obviously when they made what was it called? Fortress, the Resurgence map, for literally a week, that obviously doesn't count. It was a part of the big map, and it was terrible. Yeah. This is like a ground up new Resurgence map that's not a remaster. We have not gotten one of those in a very long time. So that alone is cool and exciting. So that's number one. And then, like you said, game features deep dive with Raven is attached to the image that was leaked. This is related to Warzone. So we've gotten, like, you know, the BO6 Direct, which was a game features deep dive with Treyarch for multiplayer, and they hinted at some Warzone stuff, but we have not gotten any great details on how Warzone's gonna work with this integration. So seeing that, I'm actually more excited for than the map. How exactly is Omni Movement gonna work? Probably the same. That's actually not a big question. But how is the wildcard system gonna work? How's the perk system gonna work? How is the loadout system gonna work? Are you bringing back strongholds? Please God, no. What else is changing? You know, what other things maybe that we're not thinking about or that haven't been released or announced yet? That's the biggest thing I'm excited about, is are the leaks that there are no more backpacks true? We would learn that too. So I'm excited a lot for this game features deep dive, more than anything, really. Because it's going to be related to Warzone.
The backpack thing was just a leak, huh?
Correct. Yeah,
it's definitely happening, but yeah, I forgot that was
I
just
believe
a leak.
it for sure. But yeah, it'd be nice to get official confirmation finally. On top of, again, I mean, who knows what else they're going to reveal? Because again, we haven't learned pretty much anything about how Warzone's going to look. So getting that deep dive is going to be really cool. So yeah, I would expect all of this at COD next week.
That's a sharp turn right there too, man. Real sharp turn.
You think
on
that truck
corner.
that you're fascinated with?
It couldn't. That's what I'm worried about. I don't know how it got there. It can't make that turn going up that ramp. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that's got to be
right.
a seasoned vet.
Like
I don't know what
like
he's
a
doing.
7-point.
I don't know how he's going to get out of there. Yeah, but well, it'll all be revealed next week.
It'll all be revealed next week. Hopefully, they show first-person POV of someone driving that truck.
I would love that so much. It's a great truck.
Oh, speaking of game features with Raven, actually, I wonder if they'll talk about how vehicles work. Are we still using gas? Are there still going to be gas cans? And will they have, finally, a couple more cylinders in all the vehicles so that they have some torque so I can use them?
Add a couple more cylinders, cool all of them, yeah. Maybe Chopper is getting the old mechanics back too, so people use those. So choppers don't have lag to them, built-in lag, built-in inertia on those choppers.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, so we may or may not learn about that at the deep dive. So
unfortunately, we're gonna have to sit through 3.5 hours of multiplayer before they talk about Warzone for 15 minutes. But we'll figure it out. There's zombies though too. Actually,
there is zombies. It's gonna be a long day. Yeah. There is zombies also, and then the multiplayer deep dive. I think there's going to be some more interesting stuff to learn.
Oh
we'll
yeah, there will be a
guns.
lot. Maps too.
We'll see some more attachments. We'll see some maps. Big map guy. But we'll also hopefully see some more wild cards. That would be.
I think we already talked about all of them. All the ones that's leaking or it's launching with.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we already talked about like the 4 or 5 that were in there.
They're for sure launching with more than 3 wild cards.
I don't think so. Cold War was the same way.
No.
Yes, it was.
I guess the perk greed ones leaked as well, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. They're not going to. That's what I'm saying. We know like everything about multiplayer, but obviously it's going to be interesting to watch people play it that are on computers, and most of them are not terrible at the game, like a lot of the gameplay clips, and see what they can do with it. We'll see some exciting stuff for sure.
See some kill streaks and stuff too. Could be kind of cool.
So yeah, I'm real into this truck. You're into this next tweet here, I guess.
So last and least, in fact,
yeah, definitely. I don't. Yeah,
this is tweet from Charlie Intel.
This is a horrible image. Oh, it's the worst image I've ever seen.
Right?
Oh my god.
It's really bad. Yeah.
Jesus
there are a lot of things
Christ.
I could and will not be saying about the image, but Call of Duty has tweeted yesterday, Team Falcons have joined the CDL, purchasing the spot that was previously owned by Las Vegas Legion.
Cool.
So the reason I'm including this are mainly for those of you who are CDL enjoyers. This is a big deal if you're like really into the CDL, especially if you were a fan of the Las Vegas Legion. Legion is what I said, but Legion is, I mean, whole CDL is kind of a disease-riddled cluster. Anyways, Team Falcons, yeah, they've replaced the Las Vegas Legion. So if you were a fan of them, they're gone, and they have been replaced by these guys. So there are 5 people on my screen. I recognize none of them. I don't know who any of them are.
They're South American, I would assume, because yeah, I don't. Judging from their names and looks, I've never heard of any of them either.
I haven't seen the actual names. Let me pull up the tweet itself here.
Exnid, Roxas, KXXH, Kinga Body, and Luti.
Oh, yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, this guy's also bald, which is embarrassing. But anyways.
Looks old, too. Looks far too old to be in the CDL, the bald
He's
guy.
the coach. CDL's 4v4. I'm assuming he's the coach. I'm not really sure.
I thought all of them had a 5-man roster, even though it's 4s, so they can have like an alternate if someone like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's for sure an alternate if so, because he's old as hell, blind. Man.
Yeah, bro's almost my age. It looks
old
like,
and
so
bald. Jesus Christ,
far too old to be in the CDL. So anyway, if you're into the CDL, there you go, Team Falcons.
Great image. Why is this one guy's head on the top left so much bigger than all the other ones? Why did they make his head massive?
The star. You're right. It
little
is
bro
much
in the
larger.
middle here on the bottom has a pinhead, and then bro up top has a horse head.
Yeah, they did him wrong. Yeah,
they did him wrong.
Great question.
Well, shout out to the Vegas Team Falcons, I guess. The Vegas Falcons. Yeah. That's cool.
And that's it. So
that was exciting.
Yeah, fun and exciting.
Great tweet.
So anyways, Before we sign off here, we do have a couple of announcements for you guys, which are exciting and fun. First and foremost, welcome to our new gold patrons and or returning. I don't know why sometimes they show up in my emails and sometimes they don't. I've got it. Oh, wait, no, I do. Because email, whatever. New gold patrons, Ike Merks, change it, and Ryan W. Welcome, boys. And Spidey Shelf is back as a gold patron. W.
Well, he downgraded. He edited from platinum to gold, so
I think
delete
he
that.
joined at platinum and then insta edited to gold because he's very active, unfortunately, in the garbage memes channel. And I did not ever see him as platinum. I saw him as not a patron and then gold. So I think he accidentally joined at platinum and then downgraded. If that's true, then I spit on you, Spidey Shelf, and I take back.
He doesn't listen, so it doesn't matter.
He probably doesn't listen, so whatever. Okay, Ike and Ryan welcome new gold patrons. Do better and join a higher tier, like Dirty Nate, who's upgraded to Damascus. W. Dirty Nate, welcome to the Lounge King. Join the Discord. And then we also got a new annual platinum patron. I like this name, actually. Strix. Welcome, Big Giant Dog.
That's a gamer name. That's a good name.
That's a gamer name for sure, yeah. With the X's on the end, yeah, I like that. Our new annual platinum patron,
for sure.
Broza King. He's probably really good, although his S is capital, so he can't be one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
But still pretty good because that is a gamer name. Yeah,
yeah, good.
Yeah,
point.
that's a gamer name. So thank you to all of our new patrons. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Speaking of the Patreon, by the way, didn't do an ep this week. Tanner was, I don't know, picking out grout or something. But we will be doing all of our episodes as we always do. And we've already done some for the Patreon this month. Such as, why don't you tell us about them, Tanner? I definitely didn't forget.
I definitely remember what we did. Yeah, I remember every single one we did for sure. We're probably doing one. Well, we might be doing one tomorrow, by the way. We could record behind the scenes tomorrow.
Tanner will be enjoying Wipe probably, but
no, because I'd rather just get it done with tomorrow. So I think we're gonna do behind the scenes tomorrow morning.
Okay, we could do that. But anyways, we've done our platinum Q&A, so
we for sure did that.
Can enjoy that Insta. And then we've also done one gold ep. We have two more to do, but one of them was, I think we've done two gold episodes.
We've done two gold eps, yeah.
They're
up there.
Hey guys, they were really good, but I just don't remember them, I swear. What was the other one? It was
one was one was the one that went live this last Saturday.
It was the Patreon gone public.
Yeah,
that's right.
Which is what we said from the start. We were testing you guys.
You can listen to that again without ads. That'd be cool.
Listen to it again.
But we're gonna also be doing one more. And it'll be post season 5 Reloaded. I don't really know. We did Micro Topics as the other one, by the way. That was our Saturday.
Yeah,
episode,
I don't know if we wait until COD next and do like an impression type episode or what. Because
got a point, and it's kind of
because the next Thursday we won't be doing the normal pod because it's on Wednesday, so we could record that on Thursday.
Bro does be having points that are good. Yeah. We'll see. Because on Saturday, we're going to be talking about COD next. So I don't know how much more we're going to have to say.
That's true.
But we could do... Patrons, let us know if you guys would be interested in this in the Patreon feedback channel. Join the Discord. If you would prefer we do some more Season 5 Reloaded content, so like current video game episode, or we could do a little theory craft on BO6. Because we're going to have enough info for sure to like preemptively, and we've done these types of episodes before. I really enjoy doing them. Theory crafting what our like class is going to be on launch, given the info we have. So at COD Next, we're going to be able to design like a complete class for multiplayer that will be, and we can like theorize about what's going to be best in like all those slots, talk about that. That could be good. We could do the same probably for Warzone, depending on how detailed they get with that. So like what our very first day one Warzone loadout is going to be post-integration with the wild cards and all the new attachments and all that. That could be cool. So we could do something like that on Patreon this month if you guys want, or just more current game content. Let us know in feedback whichever one you want. But that'll probably be our last Patreon episode.
Dude, we have the beta too. So next Saturday actually will be a beta.
We have the beta.
So yeah, I think
Bro's right.
I think so we do the COD Next episode next Wednesday the 28th. On Saturday the 31st, we'll have played the beta by then. We'll talk about that. I can't believe the beta's out next week, and why does it seem like nobody's talking about it? I forgot it's out right after COD Next.
It's because it's right after COD Next, yeah.
And because everything's been leaked, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so that, and then, so maybe for Patreon, we do like a deeper dive into the Warzone stuff they talked about, or zombies. I think we do one of those two things.
That's probably what it's looking like, yeah. So,
because that could be fun, because I'm very excited to learn about Liberty Falls, because I think I'm going to like that zombies map better, so I'm excited to get into that.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're probably going to do something more forward-looking, future-looking for our last Patreon ep this month. But either way, it's going to be a banger. So let us know what you guys want still in Discord. And then last, couple other things. Again, a reminder, follow us on Twitch. Our Twitch is called the Dropshot Podcast. That's the channel name. It is Tanner's channel, Tanner's old channel. We renamed it. So many of you may already be following it. But do a double check anyway if you think you are. And if you've never watched us on Twitch but you want to, you can follow us now. Follow me on Twitch, by the way, Razinon, Razinon. I've been streaming pretty much every time I play the game now. So if you're into that. And then, also follow us on Twitch at the Dropshot Podcast. That's our joint Twitch account that we will be multi-streaming to starting next week, the podcast. So we've been currently streaming only on YouTube and our website, thedropshot.com/live. So we will now be streaming 3 places: our website, on YouTube still, and then also on Twitch. So follow us there if you prefer that UI or prefer being on that website. That will be available to you starting next week. And we have some other juicy little overlay things next week as well that I'm very excited to share with you guys. So yeah, but those will be visible everywhere. So, and then last, Surgery Boy did a donate. And what he said with this donate is for the Humira, which is a medication. Make sure Tanner gets some money too. Well, from Surgery Boy / other Mike, with an amount attached, a generous, solid amount of 50 real American dollars. W Surgery Boy / other Mike. The God, the King. Thank you for the $50. For the Humira, and make sure Tanner gets some money too. I've got it. I've got that. I don't have a copay for Humira, actually, surprisingly. If I did, I would be bankrupt. But thank you very much, dude. $50, that's a lot of money. We appreciate that. In addition to your free medical advice that I have been getting, W. This is very generous, man. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. You're a god and a king and a surgery boy. A little surgery bitch, some might say.
Yeah.
And we thank
Thanks,
you
buddy.
for that. TheDropshot.com.
Appreciate it.
Press the donate button. Be like other Mike. Be a surgery boy. Be a surgeon, first of all, so that you make more money, so that you can also be a Damascus patron.
Yeah.
Like Surgery Boy. We'll be back on Saturday. This Saturday. Don't know what we're doing this Saturday, actually. Maybe it is time for a little Quanda.
Well, we were going to do first impressions, but I don't think enough changed with the update, so I don't think it really matters. We could do our first gaming and COD specific Q&A on Saturday. Give that a little shot.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. So we'll either do that or first impressions of this season update, which I have some things to say on, but not that much, or a little combo. Maybe we'll start with first impressions and then roll it into some gaming-only Q&A. No matter what we do, though, it's going to be a sensational piece of content that you should be there for.
Yeah.
Plus, stay humble.
Stay humble.